Diddy, hello, I'm here. Skeptic, hi. I am back. Yes, I was doing stuff. I just wasn't on here doing it. I had to. I had stuff happening, so I had to. Oh my god, my stream coming back on me. There we go. Thank you, thank you. It's good to be back. um, yeah. Belt and Cod's doing quite well. We're getting there. That's a lot further over there than it was last time. I think my cat has been bouncing around. Pretty much like she is right now. Okay, so that's going to go there. Today, I haven't even... That's a good point. I haven't brought up the... What do you call it? What are going to work on today? Yeah, that's... 2 seconds. And I shall tell you. Not that one. Where are we? Infinite armor new. Bicep blah blah blah. Torso. Okay. I'll switch to Twitch. Fair enough. Yeah. So what we're going to do is I am going to turn this into a Halo 3 hip part. I'm going to do that by literally just using that as like the shape. I'm going to make the shape out of that, and then I'm going to reference what do you call it? A picture, shall I say? A picture. Uno momento. I don't want it there, I want it there. Just, oh, fuck. Sorry. Excuse my language so early in the stream. Halo 3 belt. No. In game. Right. Master Chief belt. Like the actual bloody Master Chief, please. Someone, please, show me the belt. Show it to me. Can't see it there. Or can we? Sorry, hang on. Let me bring you into the fold here. Was it just me, or did your last stream disappear from your videos? Yes, it did, because I flashed a personal conversation by accident when I pulled my phone off the thing, and I didn't want that being there, you know. So yeah, I just didn't want to. I don't know if I'm. Oh my god. Okay. No. How do I can't zoom in. That's really annoying. Very good template though. Worked very well with my program. Can we see this, guys? Can we zoom in? Okay, I can do that. I'm going to steal this picture. Yeah. Right. I'm going to be working on a Lord Starkiller cosplay for Forced Unleash, so I'm excited for that. Oh yeah, that's cool. What, for yourself or for like someone else or what? What's happening? What's happening, man? Right. So I've cut that out already. That is the bear thing. So all we really need to do is get that onto the foam, shape it and everything, and then we will reference the picture and there we go. I can zoom right in on it. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, yeah, we can reference the picture and I can very easily turn that into that. Very easily. So that's what we'll do. Ooh, I need to add those bits as well. I need to add these little fancy pieces right on it. Okay. What have we got scrap wise? Not big enough for neither's that. Right, hang on. I'll go get me roll. Hello, wolf. Meow meow. Alright, baby. Hello, darling. Oh, there she is. Come say hello to everyone. You got itchy ears still. Have you got something in there? Let me look. What's happening? No? Okay. Alright. You say hello? She said no. Meow. Don't walk on the keyboard, darling. It's all on. No, don't walk on the keyboard. I'm really thinking on making that Etsy page for 3D printing service and see how it goes. Yeah, definitely do it, mate. Just need to... Ow, 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 ow! Ouchie! Ouchie! Go on then. Ow. Just need to put my bank account info into my account and I'll be able to sell. Yeah, definitely. And like, if you post any pictures of like templates that you're using, just plaster like an opaque example across it, like right across, like diagonally across the picture, so you can sort of see through it, but like it's clear that you're just using that as an example of something that you can do. And you know, and pictures of your own stuff obviously that you've printed before is a good shout. And yeah, I reckon you'll do well, mate. I hope you do anyway. Oh, I never thanked you for following as well. Thank you for following the Twitch and everything. I don't have like fancy notifications and shit set up, so your nearest thing is just me going, "Oh, cheers, Matt." Not for you, leave it alone. There we go. It's a doom. A doom. I see how people do the service on Etsy where I think they add the price for each individual commission as an option for different prices on the page, and only putting one in stock of each so the person can pay. Yeah, that is quite a good idea, yeah. Of course, your breath of fresh air being able to discuss cosplay stuff with someone finally. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. That is a bonus I didn't see coming from doing this. Was like, I knew a couple of people, but it was few and far between, and I was sort of in a position where the situation I was living in, it wasn't really... It was frowned upon. Let's put it that way. What I'm doing right now was like a waste of time, considered a waste of time. So, yeah, I don't know why I decided to do this, like streaming what I'm doing. But it made it so that I had a more direct line to people doing this. There's a guy down south that stumbled across me much in the same way you did. It's good to talk to other cosplayers about stuff because we all have slightly different methods and give tips to each other. Exactly, yeah. I got put on, like, this is a bit of a separate tangent, but it just reminded me, I got put on this sort of job course thing by, you know, the welfare job centre type thing that we have over here. And I remember them asking me what my self-employment was, so I told them it's this, you know. They were like, right, I don't get it. And I was like, what's not to get? People pay me to make suits for them, and I do it. And she goes, well, but you live stream as well. And I said, yeah. And she said, are you getting paid for that? I said, not currently, no. But I mean, you know, you never know what might happen. Might catch on. People might start tuning in and having a conversation about everything. And it's like, so you're showing people how you do it? And I went, yeah. And she went, and I was like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that I have some sort of secret sauce and then I'm giving it away by showing people what I'm doing. No, it's a community, dude. Cool your jets. It's like, you know, it's like, yeah, you don't, like, it. I was like, no, people come on that also build stuff and they share stuff with me, and they're like, you know, and there ain't any secrets here unless you want to patent something. Yeah, and like, I find it weird when people like bogart information. Like, it took me 5 years to find out how to one-way reflective tint a visor. 5 years. I was asking people, I was watching videos, I was like looking for everything. And it was a thing where people were going, I'm going to show you, like on YouTube or whatever, I'm going to show you how to do this, that, and the other. And then they go, right, then you dip it, then you spray it, bye. And it was like, how much? Like, where do you spray it? What the fuck? Why is the most important part the bit that you don't? Because you're a cunt. Yeah, people were trying to corner the market because visors in particular, especially in the Halo cosplay space, is like a huge commodity. Something I'm doing that people aren't doing is I make torso parts. Like, when I make a chest, I make a full body torso, and no one else does that. I don't hide how I do it. It's just sort of a signature of mine. So if you see someone walking around, which you may do in the States and further north where you are, there would be like, it'll be all foam, but there'll be, the middle part will be made out of this real thin, squishy, like 5mm stuff, and everything else is on the real hard, heavy, like 10mm stuff, you know? Like, that's real hard stuff, and this is like stretchy and bendy, and I make the belly parts out of this, and I make a full torso for like a Halo costume, and no one else does that. But it's not about hiding it, you know? It's not about, you know, I don't get that way of thinking, and there's a lot of people in this space that are like that. I'm suspicious of those people. Oh yeah, visors either go for 50, and I've seen them solid for like 200. Yeah, I've seen that too. For one visor, it's all over the place. Yeah, the thing we have over here is that no one seems to make them, and if they do, they're not making them for people. They're literally just making them for themselves, type of thing. So you can't buy them anywhere, and in my current position where I am, I can't really make them. I'd have to make it in my kitchen, and that's a tiny kitchen in a tiny flat, you know. And I've got a tiny thing running around with tiny lungs that doesn't need all the plastic to be up in the air, affecting her little respiratory system. There's not enough ventilation in this place for that here, so I can't do it. Now I've found out how to do it, I still can't do it. Right. I'm going straight across here because we're going to... How's that picture go again? Ooh, okay. Yes, so I don't need to do the bottom, I just need to go straight across. Like so. And we've got that as a guide because there's a little vent along the bottom, so I can do that as like as a thing. Ooh, I'll mark it out now. That'll be cool. Oh, shit. Too fat. There we go. Right. That sucks, I get you. It's frustrating in Canada because the US is so close, but international shipping still kicks our asses here. It's kind of BS. Sometimes they don't even ship here. Yeah. Especially not now. With the orange, vagina-necked fruitcake running around the whole fucking world, destroying everything. That's right, you heard. Come at me. There we go. There are some things I should... Oh, I'll show you. I 3D printing the boots. I've done they're like the covers that go over the front of your ankle on the boots. And I 3D printed the hand plates as well. So they go on the gloves. And don't get me started on how I swear half the people across the country in Ontario, I'm in Vancouver, most of all the good shit is there, I swear. Oh, that's the grass is always greener syndrome, dude. You always think everything's better somewhere else, and then you go there, and then you go like, oh, actually it wasn't that good, was it? I want to go home. You guys are lucky in the UK because everyone usually no more than a 3 or 4 hour drive. Yeah, you're thinking in terms of like Canadian and American roads, though, dude. Our road infrastructure was built in Roman times, and we built on top of it. Most streets can't really handle cars being parked on either side of the road and have 2 cars go down them at the same time. And traffic is unreal in this country, especially now because there are about 3 to 4 times as many cars on the road now as when I was a kid 30 years ago. So we are running out of room on the road now. So I think everywhere has its problems, don't they? Like if I wanted to meet someone from Texas, it would be a multi-day drive. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. But I mean, that's just the same as me saying, well, if I wanted to meet someone in Africa, I'd have to get in a plane. Or a boat. So, I mean, you know. It is what it is, mate. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bruv. Multi-day drive. And, like, yeah, in context, like, out of context, a 4 hour drive is pretty much nothing. In context, however, there's no direct roads from one place to another. You have to go through towns and villages and all sorts of shit. There's no highway that goes right through the country. Like, it all turns into like single lane traffic roads, and sometimes country roads that wind round, sometimes single lane roads where you literally just have to pull over into a ditch to let a tractor go past you, you know. My partner lives in Australia. Don't get me started. Move to Australia, then you won't have to get started. I'd love to. Okay, I don't know if I'm messing this up or not. Just complete free-handing along here. Trying to straighten lines out. Hang on. Here's an idea. What if... Oh, bollocks. I mean, I suppose it'll do. He wants me to. I'm scared to, just because of family here. Yeah. I mean, I can't presume anything because I don't know you, but you know, they're not going anywhere, and you can always take trips back with your partner and stuff, and like it can be like a nice holiday, nice getaway for you both, and you can try and get you know your parents out over there as well. It just depends, you know. Um, it's all just a feeling, really. You know, it's whether or not you feel like that's what you want to do. Right. I am gonna go down and do all of one side of these, and then I'll tell you what. I'll do all the little tops first. This is something I do that I don't know if many people do. Probably because it's a pain in the arse. But if you do a vertical cut, if you're trying to, I find if you're making anything with foam and you need like a vent or something that needs to have grooves in it, I always do like a sort of an angled cut, like so. And just because I'm not very good at this, I'm going and doing it all on one side for now. And I'm going to do all the other sides. Oh, that's what I'll do. If I cut the bottom, then they'll actually come out. What's exactly what he said? I appreciate it. I don't do what you do with the foam or paper there, but honestly, it ain't a bad idea. The amount of times I've printed armour that wasn't the right size. Yeah, it does happen. It definitely happens, but you're going to have that with this as well. It's maybe a little bit easier to adjust things when you've got, like, when it's foam. But sitting for hours on end doing this is not for everyone. It's for the most stubborn of heart. The thing I'm going to start doing more frequently now is hybrid builds, where I will be building parts out of foam, but definitely doing parts in like 3D printed as well. I don't know if the shadows will give you a sense of what I've actually done there with the black pen lines being on there, but like, yeah, now there's a vent. And I suppose it kind of needs doing around the edges as well. So what I'm going to do is like a straight vertical cut all the way around the outside. Very, very thin, shallow one. And then thankfully I've just changed out my blade so it's really sharp, which means when I do the same thing and just literally do an angle cut around the sides, we should get a nice sort of definition around the vent. And when it's painted, it'll definitely like catch the eye. Oh, that didn't go very well. I'll have to smooth that out with my rotary tool, the Dremel. But yeah, now there is definition around the outside of it. As you can see, I definitely need to smooth some bits out, but it worked. And when you paint that, like if you paint everything black and then brush along the top, you're gonna get like it looking like an actual vent. So there you go. Tip of the day. Tip of the day for your foam building needs. Right, how many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did 10, did I? Excellent. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Shit. Wait, what? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yeah. Crikey on a bikey. Crikey bloody Moses, mate. There you go, just giving you a sense of your new home. Or your possible new home, you know. Everything's so relaxed over there. Most common saying. Yeah, it'll be right. Yeah, it'll be right. Yeah, mate. You'll be right. Right, okay. Oh, damn it. My eyes are going funny. I'm going to have to colour in the ones I'm the parts that are actually getting cut out. Right, okay. Oop. Just sliced across. Silly boy. Right. Okay. Oh, I didn't slice the bottom. Need to slice the bottom. There we go. Good alt. Last two. Oh, I've just sliced really wide there. Gosh darn it all, Dick. There we go. Come on out. There we go. Okay, it looks a lot messier because of the pen, but I think that one's a lot neater actually. No, it's not. But it's, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've like, it's come out fine. Luckily, they're on totally opposite sides of the body, so you're not going to be like. They're not going to be side by side, so it doesn't It doesn't matter a whole bunch. So, and we need those same angle cuts in this side here because they will be coming together. Though I'm not entirely sure what the hell that like hangy overy bit is doing, so let's have a look. My god, where are we? What is happening? Oh, it's meeting down the side, is it? I see. Right, so that is truly going to need an angle cut. And so is that. But everything else is going to be a vertical. There we go. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it. What Halo weapons would you like or have made? I bought the Halo Infinite Nerf gun and painted it, and I'm gonna print a pistol soon, the Combat Evolved pistol, because it's the CE pistol. I'm on Bamboo Lab myself, and there is an amazing file. I'll show you it. It's so cool, man. Like, oh my god. This might mess up the stream a little bit while it's loading up. Hell yeah, they're an awesome file for it on Bamboo Studio. I bet it's the same I have. I bet it is as well, yeah. Is it the one with like 9 plates and it even does the bullets? And it's a removable magazine? I bet it is. Maybe? Yeah. I'm pulling it up. When I'm running OBS and streaming, the Bamboo Studio takes like 400 years to load. So, 2 seconds as well. I need to. Oops. Hear me good. Sorry, I need to plug my phone in. It's about to die. Blue dunk. Come on, little bamboo, you can do it. We believe in you, don't we? What the flying hell just happened? It disappeared. Oh, don't tell me I have to start that startup process all over again. Right, I'm going to cut the other one out while we're waiting for that. Oh, it's popped up a bit quicker this time. Thordals. I'm just going into my collections because I've saved it. There it is. That one. That's the Reach Magnum, but yeah, very cool. They are essentially the same in my eyes. They made an effort to do that. But yeah. No, you are right, I can see that now. Let's have a closer look. Let's inspect. Jesus Christ. That's probably throttling the stream as well. I'm such a picky bastard. To me, they're different, but yeah, it looks great. They are different. They are like they're a different model number and everything, and like when you look in the lore and everything. But they were aesthetically the same, essentially, but like with very minor details that were different, and it was mainly down to the generations of consoles getting better, and you could add more detail. So they redesigned it and gave it a different model, an earlier model number. So it was, it's the same as the assault rifle was like an earlier model of the one that you have in Combat Evolved. But the one in Combat Evolved is essentially the same as the one in Halo 3, but they give it a different model number because they were able to redesign it with more fidelity, you know? But it's so cool. Look, like, what's awesome about it is you can pull it back. You could add a spring to it so it shoots back when you like cock the rifle, cock the bullet into the chamber type of thing. But obviously the bullet's not going to move. But you could even do the bullets, which is so cool. Yeah. I think it's a really good, really well detailed model. So that's what I'm going to do. That is essentially my next project. When my printer is free. Because right now I am printing the boots for this very suit. Doing the front parts of a 3-part boot print. Yeah, I'd like to do a plasma rifle. Thank you, 343, for essentially removing it from canon. That's what they've done, haven't they? They haven't included the plasma rifle in a single game, and if they have, it's been completely nerfed and crap. The storm rifle, don't get me started. All the stupid, like, oh, let's just do it different for different sake rifles are just, like, so, it's so stupid, man. God damn it. Yeah, I'm not going to get into another 343 rant. I just can't. It hurts my soul. You know, I'm like devastated. What have you wrote? can't find the Halo 1 plasma rifle because it's different from the Reach rifle, and it pisses me off. Yeah, I think the main reason why most people use the Reach one is it's just an aesthetic redesign of the Halo 3 literal sprites from Halo 3, just upgraded. It's supposed to be canonically the same rifle that from Halo 2 onwards. I don't know the plasma rifle in CE remake now. The overcharge colours are rainbow, just like CE, but even more vibrant. Yeah. Do you mean the anniversary one, or are you talking about the footage they released of the new remake? Because I have to be honest, I didn't pay attention to stuff like that, and I normally do, because that's what we do here, isn't it? But I've sort of checked out on everything 343, and I'm kind of now looking at just rebuying the old games. I'm gonna go get a 360 and just play them on a 360. They need to do the whole game like that, damn it. I'm so conflicted on the remake because I see so much good and so much that annoys me. Kind of hard for me to check out when Halo C is my favourite game of all time. Yeah, well, that's like, then it's easy, dude. You check out of 343, go straight back to the original games, buy yourself an Xbox 360 because it's backwards compatible on there, and that way you can play all 5 of the Bungie games in a row if you'd like, So that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for a cheap 360 Slim. Anyone out there in PAL regions wants to give me one, feel free. And yeah, and I literally just rebought the Halo 3 and Halo Reach because I sold them as part of like the collector's editions that I had. That's why the remake isn't going to kill me, because the originals will always be there. Yeah. I just won't be bothered about playing it myself, I've lost steam with it, Like I'm not like actively boycotting all things Halo now or anything like that. It's more like I'm just like, ugh. I hate that. I like. It does annoy me that they're remaking it. It does annoy me, like it does, and it's not because they're doing it, which is part of why it annoys me, but it's also the fact that, like, much like a lot of what 343 do, they like work on something in secret for like 4 years, and then get on stage and go, here's something no one asked for. you know like here's Halo anniversary, no one asked for that. And now everyone's like, oh, Halo 3 anniversary. No, stop making them redo stuff. Please stop redoing stuff. Just like fucking pick a story, commit to it, see it through, finish the game before you release it, and then we're all good, aren't we? Seems simple, doesn't it? I do I do expect the level 343 Guilty Spark will feel like a horror game, and unlike Anniversary, destroying the vibe. Yeah, well, they just lit the whole fucking place, didn't they? But that's because they didn't work on it. They figured out how to add the extra graphics over the top. They did a few over designs because that's what 343 like to do. They like to over design, and then it's like no one played it. Like they didn't do any quality testing or anything. It was like they just went, "Nice one, that'll do, bye," and they just put it out with like blinding lights everywhere and textures are wrong, and it was weird, man. It was weird. At the moment, the only one I have is the Anniversary one because it's the only one that will work on a Series X. Interesting that. You're not allowed to play Halo 2, the OG Halo 2. You're not allowed to play that. And you're not allowed to play the OG Halo 1. But you can play the Anniversary Edition of Halo 1, the 360 disc. And you can play 3, Reach, and ODST. But you're not allowed to play Halo 2. Is that because that was the flagship game to sell the Master Chief Collection to people? Halo 2 Anniversary, was it? Yeah. So if I ever play those Anniversary editions of the games, I just switch the graphics back to the old graphics, and it still doesn't feel right because they're not conversions of the original Xbox games. They are in fact fucking conversions of the PC versions of those games, which were not done by Bungie. They were highly flawed, and the physics were different. And I just can't do this anymore, dude. I can't. Well, for me, I actually have been asking for a new remake of CE ever since they fucked up the Anniversary and have cutscenes like Halo 2 Anniversary. See, I hate Halo 2 Anniversary as well. I hate it. One of the best examples of what's wrong with Halo 2 Anniversary is, I forget what the level's called. You'll remember what the stage is called, but you start as the Arbiter. I think you have a brute plasma rifle and an energy sword, and you're on the cliff side. And as you go around the corner, there's two brutes, and as soon as they see you, they berserk. And I can't remember what it's called, but you come to a building, you go up a slope into the building, and then there's two hunters inside that building. You go around the middle, out the other side, and you fight a few more things, and then you get into a ghost. If you put that on, it's supposed to be just like this real low-key, lo-fi music that's like, and descending ahs and oohs. And then switch it to the Anniversary graphics, and it's like, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? All the serene dignity of that has just been just shat on. And it's just one example of many, and but it sort of sums up my experience with that game. Yeah. It just, just annoyed by it. Yeah, I really, really wish the music could be changed to the OG. I hate the Anniversary remixes, yeah. It's what takes me out of it completely, is the music on that. So I just knock it back, and I just play it on the original graphics. Because, that's what it looked like. What's wrong with that? I know it's like, it looks, compared to now, like dog shit. But everything does. That's called progress, for God's sake. Mario, you can't go back and play the original Mario and expect it to look like new Super Mario Brothers Deluxe for the Switch, you know. And then you're sitting there playing it, going, "Why doesn't it look like that?" You know, things were the way they were. Do new stuff. I feel like that meme of an old dude yelling at a cloud. Because I pretty much am at this point. I feel like I'm the only one that, like, oh, you're totally right. Well, thank you. There's another person that does actually agree with me then. But yeah, it's like it. I'm fine with remakes when it's like done with a degree of like passion, you know, when the people doing it actually care about it. And I'm sure there was a bunch of people that were doing the remasters and like conversions and ports for the Chief Collection, for example, that genuinely loved those old games and wanted to do the best they could in that. And then Microsoft fired them and hired other temps, because that's what they did. You can't possibly have these things done with a level of care and attention if you're not personally hiring people properly to work on something long term with some sort of security so they're happy to be there. But no, you're getting temps in. That's how they're making them now, you know? Everyone's begging for a Halo 3 remake. I really aren't myself. I hate that idea. But I don't need it at all. I know they'll screw it up in some way, everywhere. And the graphics hold up perfectly fine. Yeah. Halo 3 is my favourite art style by far. All it was an extension of the rest. You know? It, like, Halo 3 is the same aesthetic as Halo 1 in my eyes. There was just limited amount of stuff they could do at the time, and then by the time you got to like the 360 era, where you could do twice as much as you could on the OG Xbox, they designed accordingly, you know. And I still like Reach was a change, but aesthetically made sense in context with the rest of the games as well, you know. So it's like they all felt like they were, and the way that the games play have a lot to do with that as well, because the way it feels to run around in Halo CE is the same way it feels to run around and play in and shoot and stuff in I would say all the way over to Reach. It's still that same feel. Yeah, they've tweaked everything. The physics are slightly different, and the gun sounds are different, and there are differences, obviously, but it still feels like the same game, you know. And then 343 came in. And it's like they all sat round a table and went, you know that old adage, you don't fix what ain't broke? Excellent. Yeah, we'll throw that out. I say we fix everything because it's not broke, and we should fix it for fixing's sake. Let's do change for change's sake. Like, they were so busy trying to prove themselves as a worthy studio that they just didn't, like, they did, like, and they were changing everything for the sake of changing it. And there's little things that annoy me about Halo 4. Here's an example for you. If you drive a Warthog in any of the previous games except for Reach, you can fire that chain gun forever. And it just fires. Fires forever. In Reach, they added an overheating feature because they thought, like, you know, it's a prequel. It's years before. Maybe that's a fun mechanic in like the old Reach Warthogs overheat. Ha 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 ha. What a silly thing. And then Halo 4 comes along and the Warthog guns overheat. So you're saying we got through an entire 50 years worth of war with an alien race. We won. We then built the biggest human ship that has ever been made and outfitted that giant flagship with warthogs that overheat. Immersion broken. It's like I'm such a dick, but it's like it's something that takes me straight out of it, because it's at that point you realise, oh, they just literally kept a mechanic from Reach for the sake of it. Probably because it was easier to leave it in than it was to take it out. Okay. I'm sorry, I kind of see what you mean, but I could say that about Halo 2 and 3, but CE to me feels like its own thing in all the right ways. Yeah, no, I get that. Definitely. Because as soon as you get to Halo 2, I feel like you're a little bit lighter and you're a little bit faster. That's kind of what it feels like to me. And so yeah, I'd agree with that. Hang on a sec. I've just realised after gluing that I've forgotten to do something. I've got this last piece out. What a damn motherfucker. There we go. Yeah, gameplay wise it is the same, but the art style of CE feels more like classic 80s sci-fi more than the rest. Not to shit on the art style of the rest, because like I said, Halo 3 is my favourite, but I love how unique CE's art feels to me. Yeah, well, I mean, it's largely down to limitations. They only had so much power to be working with. Textures and things like that, the way it worked at the time was again limited. So they scaled back all the designs. You can see design documents for CE, all the way from when it was an RTS game, all the way up to it being finally made into a first-person shooter. So you can see the level of detail that they intend the characters to have, but then it has to be represented the way it does in game because of limitations of the Xbox and even PCs at the time, And then it's by the time they got to Halo 3, they were able to implement the sort of level that they wanted to have the whole time. And then they really got that with Reach, because they figured out that they could sort of cheat the game engine into putting a lot more detail into the what do you call them? The plates that go over the 3D geometry of stuff. They were able to basically a trick of the camera, a trick of the eye, to make it look so much more detailed than it actually was. And then when you get close, they were able to write in that detail with the game engine. So from a distance it looks like the detail's always there, and then when you get there it is actually there. And it's such a cool little trick that they used. They were unbelievable at what they were doing at the time. They were just completely amazing devs. I always wonder why they kept all those unlimited bullets on Warthogs. Yeah. The devs were furious that Microsoft changed their mind on the PC port. Marty said he'd quit if they didn't do a PC port. So I guess they're settled for outsourcing it. Yep. I think it was like it was Microsoft's argument was that they weren't going to be able to release it when they wanted, and Bungie wanted to do it in their own time, but Microsoft wanted them to go straight ahead and start developing Halo 2. So there was no time for Bungie, much to their upset, to be porting it over to PC, which is what they would have wanted to do themselves. So Microsoft said, right, well, we will have a port, we'll just outsource it, and Gearbox ended up doing it. The guys that do Borderlands and Aliens Colonial Marines did that port, and that is the port that is in the Master Chief Collection. Yeah, they reportedly changed their mind about Microsoft after Microsoft pushed them, even though they needed more time on Halo 2, they pushed them to meet the deadline. And it created a really horrible working environment for them. And after Halo 2 was released, Jason Jones just didn't want to do another Halo game at all. And the rest of the team were like, well, Jason, go do something else. Like, take your time. You could come up with the next IP. We'll handle Halo. And yeah, he went off and made Destiny, essentially. And he started seeding the idea of Destiny at that point. Anyway. Right, okay, we have this. And it is there. Now, what we need... Oh, I had loads of stuff I should have done that I didn't. Whoops. Well, I better glue these two guys together. Mm-hmm. I was grateful they didn't half-arse ODST and Reach, even if they really didn't want to make them. Well, Jason Jones didn't want to. He was like the lead programmer, pretty much the head of the studio, from its inception up until present day. I think he's still with Bungie. If not, if he's left quietly. The rest of them did. You had like Joe Staten, who wrote, and he was the lead on ODST, and he wrote in collaboration with a bunch of other people, but he wrote a majority of like the Halo story in general. And obviously loads of the rest of the studio really loved what they were doing, and they wanted to make Reach like a proper swan song, like a proper goodbye to the franchise. And I think they did a really good job with it, and I think that's also why it's been so difficult for 343 to plod along and and try and somehow somehow do do good with it. I don't know what words I'm using right now, but anyway, right. I think we go along here. Let's do it properly now. Come on. Measure it to there. To here. Okay. Yeah. Right, so that's that. And we essentially come in like this, drop it down a little bit. No, we'll go in further, then drop it down. Get to about there, bring it back up, and there. So, with the development of games, though, I'll never forgive Battlefront 3 for being cancelled. When it was almost done, yeah. Simply because they had a strict 1 year development and needed a bit more time, and they couldn't figure a negotiation. Fucking devastating. That's like if Halo 3 got cancelled. Yeah. Yeah. I get you. Oh. Bear with me. Oh no. Well, that means I'm going down here then. My knife's so sharp I cut past the line I'd drawn. So it's going to have to be a bit lower than I wanted it to be. Okay. And the next step is this. Now this is not going to be exact by any means. But you should have seen how bad the Halo 3 belt template was. It was just utter dog shit, so there was no way I was using that. I don't know how they could simply throw away when Battlefront 1 and 2 were more successful than most successful Star Wars games ever made. And childhood classics. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the OG Battlefronts. Yeah. So there. We have that. Whoops. And then we're going to plonk him back on over the top. All the way along. Like so. So it should end up like that. Which is an approximation of that. Oh, you're a Turtles fan. Another recent cancellation. The R-rated live-action Last Ronin movie has been canned because they've afraid of making an adult TMT. No, what it is that somebody's bought Paramount and they've taken stock of all their franchises and they're wanting to start again with Ninja Turtles. They weren't really happy that Mutant Mayhem Part 2 was already in production and they'd spent far too much money on it to cancel it. So they were like, right, well, you do that and then that's it. So what they've done with The Last Ronin is that they want to do it, but they want to do it later. So they've put it on hiatus, essentially. What I'm hoping for, because I'm old as fuck, is that they do it from the point of view of it being set in the 1990 movie universe. So like it's live action, live Last Ronin, but it's those turtles from that movie universe. That would be fucking sweet, dude. That would be what I would really want to see. And the director that was attached wanted Judith Hoag, who was the woman that played April O'Neil in the very first movie, to be April in The Last Ronin, to sort of tie it together. And that would have been amazing. So I'm hoping that that's what will happen in the future. But they're planning on doing a lot with them. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with like the comics and stuff and certain episodes of all the cartoons that have been around. Oh, you are, right. Then you probably know that most turtle franchises exist in the same canon but in different universes. Like that's always been the case, that they travel between universes and in space and all that kind of shit, don't they, all the time? So like the comic universe, the Mirage comic universe, is its own universe within TMNT lore. And the cartoon, the OG cartoon universe, is its own universe. The movie universe is its own universe, blah, blah, blah. And the idea is that they all exist and they all are simultaneously happening, you know. You're thinking might be hope for adult Turtles movie again. There is, like I say, it's been put on hold because they're wanting to reboot the Turtles again, which they do every 10 years or so. whether it be in a cartoon format or a thingy. But what Paramount want to do with the Turtles now is they want to. I think what they're going to try and do is like a Marvel multiverse type situation where they want to start a new franchise of movies and then get it to a point where they can start bringing in, much like No Way Home, the Spider-Man movie, where they can bring back old versions of the Turtles, whether they're comic, cartoon, whatever. That's apparently what they would like, what they foresee, is that they want to tie all the universes together in like under one umbrella, and they're going to start by reintroducing a new movie that is essentially the beginning of it again, as if they were going to remake the original movie, but it's going to be its own Turtles movie, much like the Michael Bay movies were their own Turtle movies and all that shit. So they want to do that. They want to do that, but then they're doing it in a way where they want to start tying in all the other Turtle universes into it, which I think is a really cool idea. If executed well, it could be good. Yeah, the Bay movies were horrible. What did you think of Mayhem? I really enjoyed it. I bought it on Blu-ray and I watched it again on Blu-ray, and then I've never really had a need to watch it since. And then I did put it on again for a third time, and I sort of stopped watching it halfway through. So it was like I enjoyed it, but I think it's just like just not as bothered as I was with other Turtle movies. I mean, the Bay movies were terrible, but I can watch at least the second one all the way through. The first one was like, being pissed on from a great height. Have you not seen Mayhem yet? Because it is good. You'll probably enjoy it. It's just not. It's just like it feels like it's wafer thin. Like you enjoy it the first time, but you might not want to watch it again, sort of thing. It's like a one and done. I tried watching the spin-off cartoon, the Tales of the Ninja Turtles cartoon. If you could choose between playing Halo 5 and watching TMNT, which torture would you prefer? TMNT 3, every day of the week. There is no way in hell you will ever get me to play Halo 5 ever again. Especially not the campaign. Especially not. It is the most fucked, stupid thing I've ever done. I remember that one of my friends, after I'd already done it, because I always, up until now, I always did every Halo game from 1 onwards, on every difficulty. Apart from easy, I never bothered on easy, but like, I'd do it on normal, I'd go back through heroic, then go back through legendary. I did that game on heroic, and it was the worst experience of my entire life. Because obviously if you're playing it on your own, you have to rely on the AI to like recover you. And the AI is the dumbest AI I've ever come across. It's so stupid. And yeah, and that was what I was going to get to, is a friend of mine was like, I haven't played it yet. we should go through it on Legendary. And I'm like, oh, dude, really? Do we? Oh, my God, no. So I was like, right, fine. And we did. It took forever. It was so fucking horrible. It was so shit, dude. So shit. Oh, I hated every second of it. Anyway, there you go. If you ignore the ugly black lines, it's going to look good when it's painted. I'll try not to forget to do stuff on this one. But yeah, no, I'd rather watch Turtles, because at least you know it's going to be an hour and a half. And you're not going to get stuck on one scene for 3 days because the AI won't let you not get shot by Noriega. Or the what's his name? The Walker. That's what I meant. You know. You imagine getting stuck on that scene where they burn down the village over and over again because the damn AI keeps like not recovering you after getting shot or something. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God. So yeah, I can very easily watch Ninja Turtles 3. It's not great, but it is far better than Halo 5. I love Halo 2, but Legendary is a different ball game. Yeah, me and my friend found that out the hard way, because back in the day, right, I was a full-time musician, so I had a lot of downtime, and I used to play Halo 1 like all the time. Like I would just play it all the time, and it got to a point where I hadn't even realised it because I had no context. I didn't play with anyone else. I just played it myself. And my friend came over and he wanted to play with me. And he was like, "Oh, can we knock the difficulty down? Because I keep dying." And I was like, "What do you mean?" Oh. And then I realised, oh, I must be quite good at this. I'm not that good anymore. And we got to a point, like, he kept coming over and playing with me. He bought an Xbox and got Halo, and we'd play at his house and stuff, and we were, like, playing together all the time. We both, and I got him trained up, basically, is what I'm saying. I got him trained up to, like, where I was at, so we could do Legendary quite easily, and we'd just fly through it. And, you know, when I was on my own, I'd be like, oh, I'll just do Assault on the Control Room for shits and giggles on Legendary, you know, for fun. Like, that sounds like utter torture. But yeah, and then we were like, oh, let's just go straight. We're used to Legendary. Let's just go straight in on Legendary. And we got stuck on the part of the Cairo station, where they're coming in through the tubes, through the airlock part, because they kept throwing platinum elites through the tube at us, and they just won't die. And we after about 3 hours, we were like, shall we just try heroic? We did do it in the end. We did, like, get all the way through it, but, like, Jesus Christ, it was a nightmare, mate. The disc repeats, help him a turtle, I can't get up. Yeah, that'd be what it was. Help him a turtle, I can't get up, and then you have to wait for the AI to actually get him up, and he just keeps saying it. I raged really hard simply trying to beat Cairo Station, yeah. And I'm not horrible. I've beaten CE in 3 on Legendary, yeah. There's a way of doing it, but, like, it's really, like, you've got to pretend you don't have a shield and you can't take one shot. And then you have to do what people ended up calling, like, the noob thing, where you find yourself a plasma pistol and either a Magnum or whatever they're calling it in that game, or an SMG, and you've got to do charge plasma pistol, get their shield off, and then shoot them with the other, you know. Because on legendary, it's very very strictly like plasma for shields, bullets for meat, and yeah, I got stuck there for 2 hours and shut it off. Yeah, it's a nightmare part of the game, but yeah, it's doable. But like, it's best done with someone else as well. But it's still a nightmare. And with 2 people, it can be worse. It can be a double-edged sword, because the thing that Halo 2 does on Legendary is if one of you dies, then it resets back the checkpoint. So you know what, like, later games ended up as a skull was not a bug. It was a feature, you know. So one of us might have been doing really well, and then the other died, and it'd be like, fuck. So yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. Right. As soon as I'm done this, I'm gonna stick it to the man. I'm gonna stick it to the rest of the belt, and then that'll be it for me. And I'll be on tomorrow, but it will be early because I need to do this. But I'm doing other things on the night. I'm looking forward to the skulls for CE Remake. They're adding way more skulls than any game before, so we'll see. Why do I hate that idea so much? Why do I hate it? It sounds like fucking like marketing speak. Like, go buy the game. It's got more skulls than ever before in any game. And it's like, fuck off, dude. Don't tell me what to do. I'll buy your game if it's good, alright? You don't need fucking skulls in it to be good. The first game survived without skulls. It was good, you know. It annoyed me that they put skulls in the anniversary edition, to be honest. Why am I such a dick? I'm so sorry. That's not to take away your excitement for it. I'm really not. I'm such a fucking snob. Hopefully they'll add a scud to the OG gun sounds. That is a gun birthday party. I'm actually a snob, I get you. Yeah. My snobbery extends to nearly everything though with this. But I mean, I've been playing these games for 20 years. More than 20 years now. And you know, for a large amount of time, due to terrible circumstances I found myself in, they were my only escape from the hell that was my life at the time, you know? So it's meant a lot to me and a lot of people in my position that a lot of people grew up playing them. I was already technically an adult when they came out, but they were massive to me. This was my Star Wars, you know? So it seems silly to someone to be this fucking invested in it in the way it was. But like, unlike a movie or a comic, with a video game, on average, not saying it's always the case, but like, you spend so much more time immersed in a world that you're physically walking around in, you know, in the game, but you're actually walking around in there, you're living it, you're breathing it, you're hearing the music and the sound and the everything, you know. It's almost tangible with a game like that. Did you ever touch Republic Commando? It's basically Star Wars Halo clone. It's amazing. No, because I didn't really get into Star Wars very much. I don't hate it. This is a thing that always comes up in contention with like a lot of Star Wars fans is when I say like I didn't really get into it. They're like, "Oh, so you hate it?" Like, no, I like it fine. It's fun to watch the. I used to like watching the movies when they were put on at Christmas time when I was a kid. I used to like that, you know. But I just didn't get into it, you know, like a lot of people did. It's like when you leave your hometown you were born in and raised in and come back 20 years later and it's completely different with new stores all over the place. Your favourite spots have renovated and such, right? I don't know, that's a difficult analogy for me because I did go back to my hometown that I grew up in, and I moved in there. I was there for a week and the house got robbed. So it was really no different. It was just like, you know, half of it tried to be more posh, while the part that I grew up in just became more of a shithole. So not a lot changed. And yeah. It's more like, here's a better analogy. When I did move away, I moved quite far. And I came back to see some friends one time and I hadn't thought about it. And I had no way of getting back to where I was living. And I couldn't stay at the friends. And then I realised that my mother had moved out of the home I grew up in and rented it out to someone else. So I had nowhere to go. So it's more like that. That's what it feels like being like an OG Halo fan now. Because you can't really play them on the Chief Collection because they're not the same games on there. They are the PC ports and they're not the same. And that sounds like me being picky, but they're physically not the same games. They're not the Xbox versions of the games. They're the PC ports of the games that have been messed with. And then also it annoys me that none of the Bungie devs are named. It doesn't even say Bungie when you turn it on. It says 343 immediately. And probably it's been updated to Halo Studios now because we like to retroactively change everything, don't we, 343? So yeah, it it feels like you've got nowhere to go with it, you know. which sucks ass. Right. Bear with me, I'm going to do something stupid. That'll do. Yep, that didn't work. Close enough. Right. How do we do this? We could measure. That would make sense. 2 centimeters in and just about 2 centimeters out. Right, so we're also 2.3 from there. So about there. Two centimeters in, and then we're there. And there. And there. Not quite. There we go. It's disgusting that they've removed bungees. Thank you. Message at the end of Reach. Yeah. It's not even just the end. Like, the credits are skewed as well. Like, the way you finish the game and it sends you back to the main menu. It doesn't show you who worked on what anymore. Or they may have fixed that. I'm not sure. But I sort of signed out a long time ago, you know. I was like really... It gets me down. It genuinely gets me down. Go. Right. I'll let that settle while we get this on here. can stay on there. Why do you like making this stuff over? Hang on, all the little dots on your table look like a bunch of dead bugs. Most of that is paint and knife damage. That is numbers. Because it's on the wrong side of a thing that I reused. But yeah, that's all paint and crap. Why do you like making stuff out of foam over 3D printing? That's changing. I think I'm cut between both at the moment. Because of how much better 3D printers are now. There was a time where like it was so much effort just to get one thing to print. And in just the time that I was having to re-level the bed and make sure the filament was, you know, the right fucking temperature, and that the nozzle was the right distance off the build plate, and all the stupid stuff that you don't have to do anymore. In that time, I could have already built what I needed, what I was trying to print, you know, before the print even started. So for a long time, it was just that. It was that reason. And also, it's a lot more comfortable to wear because even the hard foam stuff is still foam and it's soft. So you can just move around in it and it doesn't clatter, doesn't make loads of plastic noise. So there's a lot of pluses even now to using foam just as a material over 3D printing. And I can do a lot of detail because I've been doing it for as long as I've been doing it. I can confidently say that I'm quite good at getting foam to look like, you know, fairly well detailed. But with the way that 3D printers are now, with all the self-leveling and ease of access to files now compared to then as well, like it's a different game now. And so I'm finding myself not favouring 3D printing necessarily, not just yet anyway, but going into it and leaning into it a lot more and using it for parts. Like this whole build, I've been building like the base parts, like of the base Halo 3 suit out of foam, and then the add-ons out of 3D printed stuff. And I did that because to print those two together took 2 hours, and it would have taken about an hour and a half to make one out of foam. So 3 hours total. So I saved an hour. And they look good. So I'm happy with that, you know. And I'm doing the boots out of 3D printed stuff because I use PTEG, and that's going to be a lot more durable than some foam stick-ons to go on top of your actual boots. It'll be a hell of a lot more durable and, you know, last a lot longer if it's PTEG. So I've elected to do the boots out of that. So yeah, I'm thinking from now on that's what I'm going to offer to people is you know, both hybrid situations. That makes sense. Don't remind me of the horrors of having printer without auto leveling. Yeah. It was horrible. I gave up 3D printing years ago for that reason. It was terrible. I hated it. but I kept my eye on it all this time, and then about halfway through last year, someone very close to me convinced me to pull my old 3D printer out of retirement. I had a CR30 belt printer. It's very much an old style printer, but I thought, you know what? Fuck it. If I can get it working, then it might be good. And I did a couple of really cool things on it, and then it stopped working again because I moved. And when I moved, obviously all the settings need resetting, and I'm like, oh, I don't have time for this shit. And I needed to move on and start making a suit. I got a commission for an entire suit, so I had to start cutting and not printing. And then with the money from that commission, I bought some Bamboo Lab printers, and there you go. So I'm really glad I got back into it again. But I want to do both because there's room for both, and particularly with the stuff that I make and the way I make it. But one thing I am going to start doing is the undersuit parts and print them, make molds of them, and make them out of like rubber, like sort of polyurethane molds with like a rubber urethane material. You have any stories about ripping your foam cosplays? Yes. When Halo Infinite released, if you find Harley Halo cosplay on, I think mainly on Facebook for this one, there's pictures of me at the store I used to work in. I used to work at Game, which is like essentially like GameStop for people over there. And I made my Halo Infinite Master Chief for that game release. And I went in there and I was, having fun, taking photos with people and what have you. It wasn't very busy, it was quite a lackluster thing. But it was good fun. And then I took it off and the shins ripped. And my torso ripped and broke, so it wouldn't stick back together. And as I was taking it off, one more person turned up and they were like, oh, I heard that there was like a Master Chief walking around. Can I get a photo? And someone came in the back and went, someone wants a photo with you. I'm like, fuck. Right, hang on. So I had to just sort of paste it all back on, and I gripped the broken bit with my arm, and I was like, for the photo. And then like get out the way, and like, fucking hell. Yeah. So that was fun. Then you got a PS1 and you opened your eyes like me. No, I didn't. I never got on with PlayStations. I couldn't those controllers were not made for my hands. It's as simple as that. And I sort of hated them because I loved P1S. Dyslexia. Sorry. I hated them. But anyway, yeah. I got an A1 to start with. And that was really good until I started using PTEG on it, and it was like, it couldn't handle it. So I researched what was the best one that was affordable, that could print at higher temperatures for longer, and that P1S popped up. And I was like, right. So as soon as I had the money, I got a P1S. And yeah, pretty much, like you say, haven't looked back since. Okay. It was the most nerve-wracking experience of my life buying the P1S, because apart from like maybe a guitar or something, I've never spent that much money on anything. I really like your CQB. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I still need to send that off. I feel so fucking guilty about it. Right. Okay. There we go. Oh no. Didn't wait long enough for it to set. Nearly wrecked the whole thing. Taking so long on commission sometimes. Yeah. This is years now, though, dude. I did that CQB originally. I took the commission on in 2022, and I was living on my own in a flat very similar to this place, and then someone got murdered in the flat above me, and I lost my mind a wee bit. That guy and someone else. There was someone called Kat who lived in New York. I don't know where she is now, but she also had one that, like, around that time those two had done back to back, and that happened. And then I also ran out of money because of another customer, we'll call them, who was sporadically paying me like bits here, bits there, and then I was running out of money, and I ended up having to dip into that money. So from then on until I stopped, because what you're witnessing right now is me restarting doing this, until I stopped, every time I took a commission on, I was in the red. So it was like I was having to use a deposit from a new customer to send an old customer's stuff away. Then I was having to wait for my welfare payday to buy materials that the deposit should have gone on. So I was always on a cycle of being in the red, and it just, like, it was getting stupid, and I had to stop. It didn't help as well that I moved back in with my ex-partner, and there was no room in the house that she'd moved into to do this. So that's it. That was all she wrote for about 2.5 years, 2 years, 2.5 years, and then I found this place, and here I am. Yeah, I've been broke for a while because of lack of commissions. I used to do them on Facebook, but now my listings get no views. So that's why I want to try Etsy. I still get views, but very rarely do I get people asking for stuff. And when they do, they'll go, "How much for a Halo suit?" And I'll be like, "Right, okay, that depends on which one you want, and if you give me a rough roundabout location, I'll be able to give you the shipping costs as well." And it usually comes out at around about £1,900, which is about 2,300 now in USD. And so that puts people off immediately. And it's like, well, dude, it takes me 6 or 8 weeks to build this, and I have to live. When I work it out, I'm paying myself less than the minimum living wage in this country to do this. So here's hoping that my Twitch blows up. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for this evening. Thank you for talking to me, Skeptic. It's been a gas. Pandas, I don't know if you're there, but I got a distinct lack of memes tonight. I'm not very happy about it. I'll be having words. Yeah, someone asked for a full armour and said I said I could do it for 300 because I'm a bit desperate. And they said it was a rip-off. Okay. Yeah, you don't need that person in your life. Oh my god. Yeah, that is completely ridiculous. Right, tomorrow we're doing these bits. And then we'll get the butts done as well. And then that's it. That's the whole thing done. Apart from that bit down there. There you go. We'll be doing that as well. Oh no. There we go. Right. So yeah, I'm going to hopefully get that done. I'm going to try and get on in the morning my time, which is like, depending on where you are in Canada, if you're wanting to watch tomorrow, I might be on at like 7 a.m. in your time, between 6 and 7 a.m. until probably about 12. Because my time it'll be like 10 or 11 in the morning till about 1 in the afternoon or something. So thank you. So yeah, what am I doing? Whoop, there you go. Get off my screen, stop looking at my stuff. Yeah, so hopefully coming to the end of this soon and I'll be able to work on my own shit. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I'm quite happy with how that's come out though. Those have come out quite Halo3 E. So that's good. That's good. It's very good. It's very good indeed. So I'll see everybody tomorrow. If you're watching this back later on, I know some people do. I really appreciate those views. So thank you very much for that as well. And yeah, Skeptic, thank you for chatting to me today. Yeah. See you all later. Bye bye. Love you.